Hello, 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 everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, hopefully in this part, we're going to finish up this case. This is a hella long first case for this game. So, man, I can only imagine how long the other cases are. All right, so let's get started. I know, I saw it. I'm sure of it. Oops, my controller. I'm not even focused on this window of the game. There we go. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Is that thing alive? You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Ugh. Just, I couldn't agree more. Such a disgrace. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at the court proceedings is painful to watch, but I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. The sorry-looking steak reveals the fact all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused witness to examine it again, be my guest. This plate of steak has been entered in court. Okay, now we got to examine the steak. Was that plate I saw, or I thought I saw, just to forget my imagination? Well, let's look at it. Excuse me? This is the wrong plate. Why is that under the meat? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin and the hallmark from the Hui era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what is it doing there? Wait, didn't you say it was Hoenn Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it just looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk about Hoenn Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of such baloney, and I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary. This means this is the wrong plate! Label these things, man! This is it. Now I've lost. Ryunosuke is not over yet. On to the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown in any public way, I presume that any further examination of evidence in this trial would be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objections? Yes. That blood stain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. There's one thing that's shocking truth here is your unhealthy fascination with the beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. Sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a fairly new affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you're alluding. Where precisely on the beefsteak is the new clue found? I mean, it's exactly on the beef. Huh? What in the world is this? It's a coin. Okay, we already said all this earlier. Let's just skip through all this. Come on, show us the real steak. Where precisely on this plate is the new clue found? Well, it's the coin. Certainly never expect to find a curious coin underneath the thick of meat. And it's from the Hui era too. That would make it quite viable. It's well marinated in the juices as well, look. What do you think of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, that's one thing for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have got the wrong idea about the steak, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. I present? There we go. Good gracious, that's... Koban? What on earth? Holy error 1 at that. Miss Brett? This is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant in the day of question, is it? Tell me. Why is there an old coin seemingly underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen anything like that before in my life. I don't know what time this is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin underneath the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of destruction. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare horikoban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency? Yes, Counsel? A rare horikoban just so happens to be hidden underneath the piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one's invited you anyways. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing underneath that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it could belong to. The owner of this koban steak was found underneath. The owner of the koban that was found underneath the steak is.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and the owner of Ratsui Tei, Koroi Korokata. Kuri, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with the koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the horikoban, my prize coin. Then this is the horikoban. Do you mean to tell me? No, please, why would Korokuta-san's kaban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense. Which is why I'm asking to bring Korokuta back to the witness stand so I can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Oh god, one thing after the other. This is only our first case. There's like 3 games in here. I can't believe we've come back to this round pair. I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this koban, we'll find that it's a key element in this case. It's very, very obvious. Why do we have to go through this whole thing again? What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Do you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Aido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police, we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a twice a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Ratsui shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Korokuta, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Ratsui Tei memory serves... Oh, okay. Oh, the knife landed on his foot! Oh no, that is... That's the one, the very exact one it is. The splendiferous holy treasure that my rusty bones master misplaced that fateful day. Can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten me, decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped is the right word. We found your coin sandwiched between the beef steak and its plate, soaking in seasoned meat juices. Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody sealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and the metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing? Excuse me? Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hasanaga. I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Yes, that's right, the secret undercover operation. Le Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similar executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. Unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at the work of the restaurant on a regular basis. There was a thief there as well? The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. We're solving multiple cases here. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Kurokuta-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Kurokuta Koban and hid it under the steak? I'm pretty sure the only other person it could be is this guy.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iesa Nosa. What? How dare you? You monster. Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Aido. Aido is the mastermind behind all this. Excuse me? You're blaming the baby? You would push the blame of your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby. It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. I guess he's just saying he's doing it for the baby. What's going on? Could have been a cop and he's controlling him with his mustache. Excuse me? Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesanosa preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court. Excuse me? What? His mustache changed and now he's a completely different person? Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heavy with money. Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time. I mean, that sounds pretty expensive. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork, though, which is worryingly unbelievable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. Yes, sir. It was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without trouble. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the stake. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang! Yes, when the professor was shot, I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, it'd be finished. I'd know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'll be able to rendezvous with it again in later dates. Oh my gosh. One plot point and another. I just want to end this. Please. Don't draw this out. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett? Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to No, don't let her go. May the esteemed gentleman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby saddle sergeant. I would certainly be... I think they forgot the whole entire underlying court case here. Of course it is. Hiding a coin underneath a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense? Is it? Well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it with a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, it's pure madness. Oh gosh, can we move this on? Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness testimony has been answered, I see no further justifications for detaining her. No, don't let her go. Miss Brett, you are... No. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. Don't you leave. And good day. He's like, wait a second. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming. Oh no, it's just... something about Miss Britt's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there's a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, we'll just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry, you can think later, but if you don't call it now, it'll be too late and the trial will be over. I feel like we've completely forgot what our whole purpose is. Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? There's no sheer nonsense. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steaks and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Oh, let's save because I only have one chance here. Because I blew all my chances previously. Alright, let's review. So here we have a fork, knife, and steak. Obviously it looks a bit different, right? Or maybe it's this thing itself where it's clearly bite marks. Clearly bite marks. What am I supposed to present? If Miss Brett's truly words are contradictory, where's the evidence to prove it? I mean, it's the steak itself, is it not? Let's go with this.
Take that!
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed? Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're splitting hairs. Not true? Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the wedge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly, counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could not even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at the steak in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there's a clearly defined barbaric teeth mark there. Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But what's your actual point? Perhaps it's the Ooh? Oh, whatever you say, my dear. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot simply wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in... I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Oof, of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Oh, come on, let's get on with it. Yes, now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that allegedly been eaten with cutlery. Do we really need a conclusion for this steak? And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of that phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it was quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't it? What? Just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean the evidence doesn't exist. That's absurd. This trial's run several hours already, and you say there's evidence that we brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit that piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery of this case. Very well. I have a feeling that this will be my last request of defense of the trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about the whole thing? I mean,
take that!
Who else has evidence that could give us? The answer is obvious. Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the courtroom the following. Enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. As well as admitting to stealing Korakuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it underneath the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put in the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Attention! Affirmative. Of course, I might have been a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind manhandling her meal to hide something in it for me. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. The plate was taken from the victim's table. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor does she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest. The sergeant switched the two steaks over. It's very quiet now. You did switch the plates. Well, after it happened, when I thought the civilian had been murdered right in front of my own eyes, like that, I panicked. As I said, immediately lifted the steak, hid the coin underneath it, but then the whole waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman. I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. So it was the steak on the table, it's just he switched it. With the military precision and timing, I switched the steaks with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what I had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, prosecutor son. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir. Oh, you did? That's plenty, yes, Sergeant. So, if Sergeant knows to switch the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on the back of his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the courtroom this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Oh, she's very riled up now. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment of he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. I can't have the slightest bearings on the case. No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove the problem for you? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something that the defendant remembers seeing. Tisk thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly beneath Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plates you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, will you show us the evidence to the court? Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Please get it. Yes, sir! Just go get it, please. Sorry for keeping you. I mean, there it is. It's clearly the blood. Here's the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Alright, let's not waver any longer. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now that makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible now Naruto to have shot the victim. It can't be. In fact, there was only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Ugh. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you. Oh? Is she gonna break? Is she gonna snap? The Swan. Are you okay there, Swan? outdone by a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no. Oh, calm down there, Swan. Why are you alive on that hat? There's little babies in that hat. What is going? No, that should not be a hat. There's a black one. There's the ugly duckling. Did she die? Did she just fly away? Oh, we got little chickadees with us now. Oh, little swan. Oh, there's the black one. The ugly duckling. And they're everywhere. Completely everywhere. Well, does that settle it? Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. What's unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman? Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. Okay, let's hear the whole story now. It was I who took the professor's life using a curé. As you summarized, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water, because curé is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only need to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And I leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in this chair that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at this point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. The bottle of curé in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt? So I was right. There were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which had presumably placed on the floor. A place where you would sure that I wouldn't notice it. And everything went according to... Oh gosh, someone's car outside decided to make the most obnoxious and loud noise. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as intended. As I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up... Bang. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at the point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruto was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because of course, you need to make it look like the defendant has shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd pick up the gun. Then that settles it. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Alright, can we get the ruling in now? Your Excellency? Yes. I wonder... Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Okay. Thank you. Good day, everyone. Hope you can forgive me, Naruto. Okay. Hopefully she's not just walking out. We done here? Can we get the ruling? It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Tatsuchi Auchi does not lose, not to the likes of this rookie student. You better start getting used to tough oppositions. Ryunosuke Haruto. What? Yes. This insult to the Auchi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with the age council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. Oh, he's gonna pull out his blade. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Oh gosh, he reached from quite a distance. 1,000 millennia may pass and still the Auchi clan will never measure up to the Naohuda clan. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, Ryunosuke Naruto presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deductions to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that the science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it looks like I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi? Yes. After this trial, you are to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of a wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What's his mission? What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruto? Oh yes. In you, I sense, how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Is this it? It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant Ryunosuke Naruto not guilty. Frickin' finally. Drop all of those Sakura petals. Oh man, that was very, very long for the first case. Very long. The court is now adjourned. Seriously, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's that long. We'll get through like this little last part. 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. The Supreme Court of Judicature Defendants Ante-Chamber 5. Well, actually, since this video is going on pretty long, I know that we're probably going into the next part. I'm gonna have to end this video here. So, if you guys want to see what happens next, be sure to remember to like, comment, share, or subscribe. And until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.